In part one of this series, we explained how retirement system works in Kenya. We looked at NSSF, occupational pension, and individual plans. In part two, I'm mentioning these so that if you haven't watched, you can go back and watch them, though I'll have them attached in the description. In part two, we calculated how much money someone needs to retire comfortably in Kenya. In part three, we broke down the investment strategies. Where do you actually invest? We talked about money market funds, SACCOs, real estate, rates, and business as a source of income. In part four, the previous part, we focused on personal pension plans, especially for entrepreneurs, self-employed individuals, and people who are not in a structured employment system. Now, in this part, we move to the institution level. We move to the companies, organizations, or the employers themselves. So this video is for HR professionals, business owners, finance managers, corporate leaders, and organizations that care about long-term workforce stability. So today we are going to talk about corporate and workplace retirement planning. What does organization need to do in order to help their employees when it comes to retirement planning? Because retirement planning is not just a personal responsibility, it's also an organizational strategy. And you want to know how? Stick around. So in section one, I want us to look at why workplace retirement planning matters. Why is it important to you as an organization? Many companies think that retirement is only about deducting NSSF, and that's what 90% of companies do. The only mandate that they do is to deduct NSSF, and that is the bare minimum. But strong organizations go beyond the bare minimum to help their employees. Why? Because employees who feel financially secure are more productive, are more loyal, have lower stress levels, and stay longer in organizations. So if you put in place structures for retirement planning, you are just not doing them for the employee, but you are doing them for you as a company, as an organization, or as an institution. Because financial stress affects performance. If employees know that their finances are well taken care of at the end of their working period, then they will commit. So corporate retirement planning is not just a benefit, it's a talent retention strategy for you as a company and for you as an organization. Part two, let's look at setting up a workplace pension scheme. How do you go about it? Though your HR will advise you on the same, but a workplace pension scheme is an occupational retirement scheme set up by an employer for the employees. And here is how it generally works. The employer registers a pension scheme with licensed providers. Step two, both the employer and employee contribute a percentage of the salary. Step number three, the funds are invested professionally. And number four, the employees receive retirement benefits when eligible. I'm just talking about pointers, but these are a lot of explanation that go into each of these steps. Workplace pension schemes are regulated by the Retirement Benefit Authority. Now, there are two types of workplace schemes that we have. The first one is defined contribution schemes. This is the most common. It's defined, it's known. Anytime you are employed, you know that this is the amount that you'll be contributing towards your retirement scheme. Number two, another category, we have got defined benefit schemes. This is less common. Let's break down each of them. So when you talk about defined contribution, it means that the retirement payout depends on total contribution and investment performance. When you talk about defined benefit, it means the retirement payout is predetermined based on your salary and the years of service, the years that you have been working. So it's known, it's predetermined. Now, most modern Kenyan organizations operate defined contribution schemes. Now, this video is not about those. I will have gone deeper, but it's not about those, and I don't want to make it longer. Section 3, let's look at employer obligations. What is it that the employer is obligated to do? Now, at minimum, the employers must do the following. Number 1, register the employees with the NSSF. Number two, deduct and remit contributions. And number 3, comply with pension regulations. Those are the bare minimum. But when offering occupational schemes, there's in part 2, we covered about occupational schemes. The employers must also do the following. Number 1, contribute agreed percentages. Number 2, maintain transparent reporting. Number 3, educate employees about the scheme, which 90% of employers don't do. And number 4, ensure compliance with the regulatory standard. Failure to comply can lead to penalties and reputational damage to the company or to the employer. But compliance alone is not leadership. Leadership will go further. Let's go to part 4 and look at benefits of corporate retirement planning. What do you stand to gain as an employer or as an organization or as a company? What are some of the benefits? So let's start by looking at the benefits for employers. Then we shall look at benefits for employees. Improved employee retention. These are now I'm talking about benefits to the employer. Improved employee retention, and I've talked about this, that when employees know that they are well taken care of, the retention rate is high. Number 2, strong employer brand. Number 3, reduced turnover costs. Number 4, better succession stability. And number 5, higher employee morale. Let's look at the benefits to employees. Benefit number 1, we have got structured long-term savings. Benefit number 2, employer matched contribution. When you give 5%, the employer gives you 5%, or these rates can vary. Sometimes you'll give 10%, then your employer will contribute 5%. Number 3, professional fund management. And then number 4, financial peace of mind. Anytime that you know that your retirement is taken care of by your employer, you have a peace of mind. In competitive industries, retirement benefits can differentiate employers. Corporate retirement planning is part of serious HR strategy. Let's look at section 5, where we look at employee education programs. And this is something that many companies ignore, many employers don't do, and they leave it for you, the employees, who don't know where to get this information from. Setting up a pension scheme is not enough. As I've said before, employees must understand the pension scheme. They must understand what they are contributing. They must understand what the employer is contributing, if at all they are contributing. They must understand where this money is being invested. They must understand what are the returns that they expect at the end of their working period. So many employees don't know how much they contribute, don't know their fund performance, don't understand tax benefits, and they withdraw early when changing jobs. And as I've said, it's the responsibility of both the employer and the employee to bring this information on board. Organizations should run the following. Number 1, annual retirement planning workshops. And if your employer doesn't do this, or if your organization don't do this, we have those monthly or annual retirement planning workshops on my channel. I do them for free, and we've got a series coming. We do those for free. We train employees for free on what they expect on the retirement package at large. And we have got monthly sessions that each month we train employees on retirement planning. So I'll leave those links for you to have a look at them. So organizations should do the following: should run annual retirement planning workshops, financial literacy sessions. Employees need to be informed about financial literacy. Should also run pension awareness seminars, and they should run mid-career planning reviews. When employees understand retirement systems, they make better long-term decisions, and this is a plus for the company, a plus for the organization. Education multiplies the value of the scheme. Section 6, let's look at retirement readiness audit. What does this audit do? The retirement readiness audit evaluates the following: that are employees on track to retire comfortably? Number 2, are contribution rates sufficient? Number 3, is investment allocation appropriate by age? Then number 4, is the organization exposed to retirement risk gaps? So many organizations do not know that if 60% of their workforce cannot afford to retire at 60, it creates a workforce stagnation, and this is something that will affect the production or the output of the employees or the workforce of the employees. Employees stay longer than planned because they cannot afford to leave. So if in your company, if in your organization, you have got employees staying longer than the required time, it's because they cannot afford to leave, because structures were not put in place. They didn't plan their retirement in their 30s, in their 40s, or in their 50s. That's why they cannot leave. So that is organizations' mishap, that a problem that they ought to have addressed. And this affects the following: this affects promotion pathways, this affects leadership pipelines, this affects organizational renewal. Retirement readiness is a strategic business issue. So let's look at part 7. We are about to finish. Succession planning and retirement. Retirement planning connects directly to succession planning. If senior leaders are not financially ready to retire, then leadership transitions will delay. Look at it this way: a leadership role, either in a leadership role in the company, if they are not ready to leave because of financial obligations, what does it mean? That when they leave, someone who's supposed to come and take in that position, there'll be a delay, because the person who's supposed to take over the role, they have not been groomed, they have not been prepared, they are not ready. Why? Because the role that they're supposed to take is filled or is occupied by an elderly person who is supposed to be leaving. Number 2, younger talent will stagnate because their position is occupied. Then number 3, strategic growth slows down. So smart organizations will integrate retirement planning with leadership development and succession framework. So retirement is not just a personal finance, it's an organizational stability strategy. So as I close, this completes our retirement planning and pension training series for Kenya. It's a 5-video series that I highly recommend. If you are employed, if you are an employee, or if you're an employer, I highly recommend that you share this series with your employees and with your employers. What have we covered? We've covered, in part 1, we covered how retirement systems works in Kenya, and we broke down, because many times your employer will not tell you about the retirement systems in Kenya, and you have to know, because a quarter of your age, a quarter of your time you will spend in retirement. Number 2, we looked at how much you need to retire, and again, your employers will not tell you this. No one goes an extra mile to teach you how much you need for retirement. These are things that you figure out on your own, but I've broken them down for you. Number 3, we've looked at investment strategies in part 3. Where can you invest money so that you don't become over-reliant on pension? Number 4, we looked at personal pension planning. What about those people who are not employed? They don't have a particular structure when it comes to pension. What do they do? So we talked about personal pension planning. Then the last one, we've talked about corporate retirement structuring. So if you are an individual, start building your systems now. If you are a company or an organization, start structuring retirement intentionally, because retirement is not just about stopping work, it's about financial dignity. It's about you being able to sustain your financial life after you retire. And because your employer will not take the initiative to train you for that, I've taken that initiative. And if you want individualized programs for retirement planning in Kenya, we have got monthly retirement planning workshops that go on. As I've said, I'll leave the link for you to have a look at it. I'll leave the link in the description, because financial dignity must be designed, must be designed, must be structured, and must be, you must take deliberate action to make sure that your retirement planning is well taken care of. So that marks the end of this series. I would like you to share your opinions and ideas on what we have shared. And if you haven't watched either part 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'll leave all those parts for you here to have a look at them. Thank you for sticking around for these 5 episodes, and I'll see you next. Bye bye for now.